Minnesota Vikings are heading to the final stages of figuring out who's going to be their next head coach, and they're openly considering hiring Michigan's Jim Harbaugh as the next man to take the helm. Who out there's got it better than us? Nobody. So let's lay out the pros and cons about Jim Harbaugh. So pro, college football playoff this year, finally beat Ohio State. Cool. NFL success, great track record, NFC title game, 3 straight seasons, Super Bowl appearance, nearly 70% winning percentage in college and the National Football League. He's won wherever he's gone, whether it's San Diego or Stanford or San Francisco or with Michigan. He's put some W's on the board. And he is from the offensive side of the ball, former quarterback, captain comeback from back in the day. But the main con that we've seen in the comments and on social medias from Vikings fans is that what if he's mean like Mike Zimmer? Which, okay, sure. I mean, first off, there's nothing wrong with being intense and demanding. Not everything is Ted Lasso. Belichick, Tomlin, Vrabel, John Harbaugh are all intense and demanding, and they're among the best coaches in the National Football League. You can be a tyrant if you win. Belichick and Saban certainly are tyrants, right? But if you're a tyrant and you're losing, it's the quickest way to be deposed. Yeah, people hate petty tyrants. But players have no problem with Zimmer back in 2017 when they were winning, before the final game. But 2 straight sub-500 seasons and missing the playoffs 3 out of 4 years, it gets old fast. And then all of a sudden, Brian O'Neill's like, no one high-fives me in the hallway. No one says hello. Hello? Is it the right tackle you're looking for? No, it's not, right? And sure, some former players have not had the kindest of words about Jim Harbaugh, but who is going to be universally liked? Like, if someone is universally liked, they're probably meh. They're probably milquetoast. They're probably a pushover. But also, think of who was criticizing him. Late career Randy Moss. Late career Brandon Jacobs. 2 guys who were probably over being pushed around by coaches, right? And also Alex Boone, who probably doesn't get along with anyone ever. But also, who went to bat for Jim Harbaugh? Patrick Willis, Andrew Luck, Justin Smith, Frank Gore. So, everyone hates Jim Harbaugh. All of his former players line up to kick him in the nuts, except for all these great players who had great careers and had great success under Jim Harbaugh. Oh, yeah, those guys. But what did they know, right? Yeah, well, don't let facts get in the way of a great narrative. But what about another fear-based organization? Hey, Niners played hard for Harbaugh. Michigan, Stanford, San Diego University all played hard for Harbaugh. Plus, there's a big difference between being intense and demanding while always having your players' backs and being intense and demanding and maybe not having your players' backs. Somewhat. And players, they will sniff that out right away. They will figure out which one you are, the former or the latter. You got their back or not, because players, they'll go to battle with you if they always know that you care for them. Like, they will run through a brick wall even though your standards are so high and he's mean every now and then. They'll do that. And by the way, 100%. Kwesi sees Harbaugh as a collaborator, given their time in San Francisco together. I'm sure it went solid, because otherwise, why would they even consider this? Like, if Kwesi is saying, who was this massive dictator and a tyrant in San Francisco the 2 years I was there, 2013, 2014, Jim Harbaugh, do not hire him. Do you think that the Wilfs would just be like, all right, we got to get in the Harbaugh business, huh? Why would the Wilfs be considering paying big money for Harbaugh and big money for the buyout just to have immediately another toxic work environment? It doesn't make sense. None at all. And I don't think that they will go through this entire hassle of requesting from the school, going through an interview, discussing buyout, and then the media circus that would be Harbaugh if he wasn't the front runner. So I think that they are going to get into that business. Plus, Harbaugh, look at him from his perspective. He's 58 years young. He certainly has some unfinished business in the NFL. I'm sure he's bitter about how it ended in San Francisco because he was basically pushed out the door by management and ownership. But he's not going to waste his time. Like, he's not going to come to the Vikings just to diddle around and be 8-9. Right? So he's not going to do that. Like, if he's coming to the Vikings, he sees the Vikings as Super Bowl contenders right away. Because maybe there is a shelf life with Jim Harbaugh. Maybe that intensity does wane after 4 or 5 years. Maybe that does get a little bit grating. So Harbaugh, obviously, if he comes here, he obviously sees the Vikings as a team that immediately that he can have NFL success. Also, Harbaugh would be leaving his beloved alma mater after their best season under his leadership. So that's a lot of capital that you're just cashing on in, man. Like, you don't do that for a run-of-the-mill NFL gig. So, again, I love the idea of DeMeco Ryans. I love Kevin O'Connell, but I think right now Harbaugh is probably the guy that the team is honed in on. He could work with Cousins for a year, get the best out of him. He could work with Kellen Mond, who does have a similar skill set to early career Colin Kaepernick, which they went to the Super Bowl with. Maybe he brings Vic Fangio on as DC, which would be a lot of fun. And remember, The Wilfs fired everyone because of a toxic work environment. They fired Zimmer and Spielman, who apparently weren't talking to each other. They washed everyone out, and they don't want to go into that right away. So again, they're checking off on Jim Harbaugh. I'm sure Kwesi's checked off on Jim Harbaugh as well, and ultimately the Wilfs are the ones signing the checks. I mean, they're the one with their business on the line. $1.5 million to Michigan for the buyout. Probably 8, 9, maybe 10 million per year for Harbaugh. He's automatically going to be a top 3 paid head coach in the National Football League. That's where it stops. They're putting their money where their mouth is, man. So they're getting after it. And if they sign off on Jim Harbaugh, I'm in. I'm in, man. Because again, we listed all of those pros, and if the only con is like, hey, he's kind of older and he could be mean and demanding like Zimmer, don't care. I don't care. Winning solves everything. Winning is a cologne that covers up a lot of stink. It's Dracarnor. That's right, man. But your thoughts on our thoughts? No. Jim Harbaugh is not Mike Zimmer. Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But until next time, Skol, production value.